As we have gone through high-level details with respect to database operations, let us understand how CRUD operations are performed for web applications using Python-based frameworks such as Flask. Don't worry if you do not understand the example completely. By the end of the course, you are supposed to gain fair amount of expertise related to Python in general. In future, we'll come up with courses related to Flask. We typically perform CRUD operations for web applications using ORM frameworks or libraries. ORM stands for Object Relational Mapping. Applications typically use objects, and databases persist data in the form of tables or relations. Tables are also known as relations in RDBMS. There will not be direct mapping between application objects and database tables or relations. This is where ORM comes into picture. SQL Alchemy is the most popular Python-based ORM library, and it is used widely as part of web application frameworks such as Flask. As part of web application, we typically perform database operations using functions rather than directly running queries. A good application developer have to be comfortable with both databases or database-related syntax and semantics to perform DDL, DML, and DQL, as well as functions that comes as part of ORM libraries. Here are the steps involved to perform database operations using ORM. Install both database drivers such as PsycopG2 for Postgres as well as ORM such as SQL Alchemy. Import SQL Alchemy and build a database URL. Create model by inheriting SQL Alchemy model. Insert data into the table one at a time or many at a time. Query the table to read the data. Let us first truncate the table by using %SQL magic command. You need to make sure that both PsycopG and SQL Alchemy are installed. Then you have to import SQL Alchemy. I am importing SQL Alchemy as DB. And then I am also importing PsycopG2 here. And also from sqlalchemy.ext.declarative, I am importing something called as declarative_base. And I am creating an object called as base by invoking declarative_base. That will be used while creating the model for our table. This is the table definition here. And this is how the model look like for this table. For each and every column, I have created class level attributes here. The class is user, inheriting base. This is how classes are inherited as part of Python. And you can see we have attributes mapped to all the columns in the users table with data type here. Also we can specify whether a particular field is a primary key, whether a particular field is unique, if there is any default value, if so what is that, so and so forth. And also we can have a representation function like this so that when we try to access the objects, instead of printing object hash, we can actually print the object details like this. That is the purpose of this representation function. We have to create this class called as user by inheriting base by defining the attributes like this. And then we have to establish connection with the database. This is how the database connection is established. This is similar to what we are using earlier with respect to env to use %SQL magic command. In Jupyter, when we use that %SQL magic command, internally it uses SQL Alchemy only. That's why the string exactly matches what we have seen earlier. So this one, and the string that is passed to db.createEngine, db is of type SQL Alchemy, is same as what we have seen earlier. PostgreSQL is the protocol we have to use. Then the username, password like this, after colon and forward slashes like this as part of the URL. Then @ the host on which the database is running, port number, then slash the database name. You can run this. It will take care of creating something called as session object. Now you can create user object with all the attributes using which you want to insert the data. For all the other attributes, if there are any defaults, it will try to inherit those defaults. And then once we perform database related API call, it will actually insert the data into the table. We can print the user object here. As of now, the data is not loaded into the table or inserted into the table. When you say session.add of user and then session.commit, it will take care of adding the user into the table by translating this add into insert statement, and the insert statement will be executed inside the database. That is how the record will be inserted. You can validate by running this query. You can see the details with respect to the object user which is returned with this API call, which is nothing but select star from the table limit 1, which will return only one record. You can also validate by saying %SQL select star from users, and you can see the results here. You can also add multiple records in one shot. In this case, users is list with 4 tuples which contain first name, last name, email ID, and create date. Let me create this list here. And then I'm creating something called as user objects using Python map function, which will iterate through the elements and convert each and every element which is of type tuple into object of type user. You can see here I'm using user constructor here and passing all the values related to this by mapping to the column names, and for each and every tuple a new object will be created which is of type user. Now I can say dot add all like this and pass the list of objects and then commit, and then I should be able to run this query to see the results. You can see 5 records here. You can also query the data from the table using this API call session.query of user.all. It will try to get all the records from the table and you should be able to print the users. It is actually using the representation function of the user, which is nothing but this one. Using this, it is actually printing all the details related to the user from the users table. You can also print only the email ID if you are interested, like this. Okay, accidentally I ran this rather than running this one. That's why it is saying that already the class is added to the session. Let me run this and you should be able to see only the email IDs. Once we are done with all our DML as well as DQL operations, we can close the session like this. This is how you should be able to leverage ORM libraries such as SQL Alchemy and perform database operations. ORM will act as abstraction between the API calls and the actual database operations that are being executed inside the database. As you mature as a software engineer, you should be comfortable with both ORM as well as the database operations directly if you are targeting to be a good application developer over a period of time.